Good morning. It's Monday. Welcome back to the farm here. Exciting week this week. Not because of anything happening here, but because it's Farm Show Week. Louisville National Farm Machinery Show is this week. Brock and I are heading down Wednesday and Thursday this week. So if you're around there, you see us, say hi. But anyway, we are working on this tractor today. So on Friday, we got the hydraulic oil service done. Changed all the hydraulic oil, changed the oil in the front axle. But we're not quite done. We need to change these hub oils in the front planetary hubs, and we need to change all of the oil in every track hub, bogey wheel, idler wheel hub, and there are a bunch of them. I think 38, I think was the number I saw, but we'll have to count them up and see what we got. So that's today's plan. Now, we did find in the book that it says, hey, you don't actually have to change the oil in these hubs. All you have to do is check them once every 3 years or 1,500 hours or whatever it is. And I did check them, and they are all okay. But after talking to a few different people and stuff, and they're just like, you're always safe to change the oil. Because I was questioning that, never change the oil in them, just check it thing. And they said, it's always okay to change it. And it gives me an opportunity to change the caps on those. So let me show you what we got. This box showed up on Saturday, and this is the Kyle Clearview cap kit for an 8RX track system. Okay, open up this box, and what we find is a whole bunch of plastic caps. These are the caps. So like this one goes on these little wheels right here. And so we're going to take this steel cap off, and we're going to replace it with these. And it still has the, the fill plug in the center there. They all come with new O-rings and gaskets and whatever else we need to make them not leak. And here's all our plugs. But these will allow us to see the oil level through the cap without having to take the plug out, and just walking by the tractor, we'll be able to see it and look at it. And so that is good. Plus, if we decide we need to change these in the future, they have a drain plug on them. You don't have to pull the whole cap off just to take the oil out. So we're going to put these on. I think they're going to be really nice. It's going to make it look a little bit different, but that's okay. This is an upgrade. Now, the trick here is figuring out how in the heck to get the oil out of those hubs without making a giant mess. We're likely to make a giant mess, but it's okay. So at one point I had thought maybe we would just take all the wheels off, and so you can put a drain pan underneath there, but then you have to detension it. It's a whole lot of work to do that. I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to just try and do it the way it is. We're going to have to try and get some kind of flexible funnel material or something in here that drains into a pan. We're going to make a mess. It is what it is. This one will be easy. We put pan right there, take those little cap screws out, and let that oil drain out of there. Those ones are no problem. The ones on the bottom, though, yeah, they're kind of a pain to get to. Oh, boy. All right. Well, I was trying to look up a video because you guys told me that Larson's had some trick for changing these oils. I can't find the video. By the time you guys give me a link, it's going to be too late. We're just going to see what we can do. I'm going to start with the easy one that I can actually hold a pan under and catch, and we'll see what we get out of here. I don't have enough hands to hold that. Is there oil in it? Oh yeah, not much. O-ring. Teeny tiny little bit of oil. Now this is just the stabilizer wheel. It's not really, I mean, it doesn't need a lot of oil. It's the little one. So we got, the big yellow ones. Those are the idlers that kind of keep the corners and the tension and stuff. And then we have the mid rollers, the ones on the bottom that help support the tractor and spread the weight out. But deer found on these 8RXs on the rear tracks, they get some vibration sometimes. I remember watching Millennial Farmer, Zach, way back when the 8RXs were first coming out, and he had one to demo, and he said at certain planting speeds, these tracks were vibrating. Well, they did not have these rollers on that tractor, on the very, very first ones. And so this was a change and a fix that they came out with to prevent that track vibration. So that's all those are. Doesn't take a lot of oil in that little space. But, okay. I don't know if we need to let that drip out too terribly long. But you can see there was not a lot of oil in there. We are going to make such a mess. We might go buy a bag of oil dry today. I think we got half a bag left. We're going to need more than that probably. It'll be easier. Just pour a whole line of oil dry out and just let it go. Well, that's what we're going to end up with. I didn't put any oil in there yet. We need to do that. We'll probably just change a bunch of them and then put the oil in at the end, but I wanted to see what it was going to look like and how it was going to go together. So let's go do the one in the back here now that I know what I'm doing. All right, I'm being all professional for you guys. I set up a tripod and a light and the whole 9 yards, so I don't have to hold my phone and I can actually show you what I'm doing. Now, we can pull out most of these screws, and it doesn't drip. Now we'll be careful. Not much. I need a way. Oh, that'll work. So these old caps, I guess we're going to put in a bag and put on the shelf. Anyway, we'll let that drip for a minute. Now we've got a new O-ring. It says to grease it lightly, so I got a dab of grease on my finger here. And I'm sure that's mostly just to keep it in the groove so it doesn't fall out. But press that into there. And then we have a gasket and our cap. And we're just going to go ahead and line that up. Stick a bolt in, and we're going to start one. And then do another one. Now the directions say to torque these to, one of them said 40 to 60 or 40 to 50 foot-pounds. The other one said 50 to 60. So about like that would be my guess. Okay, now we just need to put oil in it. Okay, we're going to try one of these mid-rollers or bogey wheels here. I got a little piece of cardboard, bent it, and stuck it in there, and hopefully it will be a funnel. Direct oil into our pan. See how much we get out of this one. More, as you would expect. Hey, that worked. Okay, let's let that drip. All right, I decided to get a couple more of these draining, so I got another drain pan and a piece of cardboard, and then I ran out of shallow drain pans, but I found this cut open bottle. I'm like, hey, that'll work. So we stuck that in there, and we're gonna let all these drip for a little bit. So this has been draining for a while, so we're good to go. I'm gonna just kind of wipe off the O-ring slot here as best I can. Okay, and grease the new one up lightly. Okay. So these covers are just bigger. Same thing. Got a gasket. Okay, that one's ready for oil. These other ones have been draining for a while too. I think they're good to go, so I'm just going to keep working down the line here. So for these idler wheels, the yellow ones, there's not a lip really to get anything under here. I mean, we can try that. We're going to make one heck of a mess. Let me try and cut a bigger piece of cardboard. Figure something else out. We're gonna try this. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. Ooh, those are bigger. 13s. How much oil do we think is in here? Hopefully not more than our little cup will hold. Oh, it's gonna make a mess. Oh, yep, told you. Dang it. At least it's on the, well, no, it was on the floor and not on the track, but now it's spilling on the track. All right, let that one drain. All right, well, I cleaned up my mess a little bit. It's pretty well done dripping. I did drain the front one there. I did a better job on that one. I don't know if you can see it or not. We're not done washing the tractor, and this is why, so. O-ring. Okay. All right, well, we got all our clear caps on this side of this track. Yeah. The big ones, apparently, are the only ones that have drain plugs. So I'm going to go ahead and put the plug in there. It's actually still dripping just a little bit because I managed to get them right on the bottom. Come on. There we go. I'll just kind of spin them in by hand. And then there's a little tool. Let's finish tightening them. This little key thing. Okay. Okay. Now we're ready for oil. These call for high guard, which is the same as our hydraulic oil. It's not gear lube 8098, which is what I would have assumed. But it very specifically says high guard, and that's clearly what we're taking out of it. That is not gear lube. It's pretty thin oil, so that's what we're putting back in. Okay, so I got our pump here. I grabbed a handful of caps, and we're just basically going to shoot it right in. It doesn't fit inside there, but it does shoot it right in there. And they're clear, so you can see it filling up. ones on these idlers are big. Takes quite a bit of oil. And then you gotta kind of wait for it to soak into the, or not soaking, but flow into the bearing, you know. Keep adding some. I'm trying to fill it up to right at the bottom of the hole on all of them. Cool. All right. Well, there's one side of one track done. So you can clearly see the oil level in there, so we can visually check it just walking by, which is more than, you know, once every 3 years like the other ones were. And they all look good, at least right now. I imagine after we drive it a little bit, we might need to add even a little bit. I don't know, because it's going to work its way into that bearing, like I said. So we used 1.3 quarts of oil for one side of one track, one rear track. Brock's here, so now we get to work and do the rest. I've got a procedure, so I'm gonna have to teach it to him. Since there are idlers and bogies and rollers on both sides of every track, we now have to do the inside, and that's why there are so many of these, and it's going to take pretty much all day to do these. It's okay. I would say it needs done, but I don't really know that it does need done. We're going to just do it anyway. I wonder what's in that cover. Huh. Big old bearing is what I'm guessing. So I'm not going to throw all these caps into the scrap pile. We're going to keep them, because who knows. So we're going to just clean them up, wipe off all the oil and stuff, and stash them in the box. Okay, we got all the caps put on the inside here, and Brock's starting to fill it. Sometimes you got to let it sit. It takes it a lot, soaks in or flows into the bearing. You're spilling it everywhere. My goodness. Oh my goodness.
What the heck? I guess I can't do this one. I did that one all right.
Apparently you don't know what you're doing. The hole's the same. Use the same plug on all of them.
Oh, let's see.
Stop angling it and press it tight on there. That was slightly better.
Slightly.
All right, we'll get these. Okay, we have one track done. Oil back in both sides. Caps on, tight, all is good. You'll notice there is a lot of oil dry in that track because we're soaking up the oil that got on it. I use oil dry half the time to lubricate the tracks when we're driving down the road. Like, it's just clay, it grinds up. It's actually fine for them. It's not gonna hurt anything. So we'll move over to the other one here. This is gonna take a while. Brock's legs are hurting. Mine too. Yeah. Anyway, no, too big a cardboard. Get the small cardboard. You're sitting on them. Under your foot. But we're getting a process figured out here where it goes pretty well. Here's what we're using. You guys can look that up if you want. They didn't give me these, so I'm not pushing them real hard. 16 plus 20 plus 8. What's that, 44? There's 44 caps to do. All right, progress is being made here. So we got that track totally done. This one here, Brock has gotten all of the new caps put on. We haven't put any oil in yet. We need to do that. He's working on draining front tracks. So that is good, and cleaning up the old ones and getting them ready to put away. I was concerned about the torque on these bolts a little bit. I know I showed earlier where we just, ratchet them down a little bit, but they're plastic. I don't want to crack them, so I don't want to over tighten them, but at the same time, we kind of need them tight enough to not fall off or to leak. So, problem is, they're pretty small bolts. It's a 10 millimeter head on them, and well, I don't have a torque wrench that'll do that. Really, because the only functional torque wrench we have is that 1-inch one over there that's in that big case up on the bench. And, well, that's going to be a little bit much for a 10 millimeter bolt head. Don't you think, Brock? We can make it go on there. We couldn't get the torque spec anywhere remotely close. So I read through those directions again, and the three different directions were for the different sizes of caps that we have here. The small ones with the 10 millimeter, they need to be tightened from 40 to 50 inch-pounds. Inch-pounds is not very much. The bigger ones on the idlers are 60 to 65 inch-pounds. So I decided that when I went to lunch, I would stop at the store. Started with the auto parts store to see if they would have a torque wrench that I could buy that would work. And, well, they didn't. But the hardware store did. So I bought a torque wrench. Problem is, it's a 3/8. They did not have anything smaller in 1/4 inch. And its lowest torque spec is supposedly 20 foot-pounds. Not inch-pounds. It's in foot-pounds. Well, 20 foot-pounds is way too much because 60 inch-pounds would be 5 foot-pounds of torque. So, this will, in fact, go down that way. It just doesn't really show it, which I'm assuming means it's not at all accurate, but I can get it set to where it would be for 4 to 5 inch-pounds, and so we just kind of did that. It's better than nothing, and I am going through here and tightening these up to where I think that they should be. So that is set for 4 foot-pounds, which 50 would be like 4.15 or something. And once it clicks, we're good. Ready? Come on. There. Now I do have a torque wrench that is in inch-pounds. That's a 3/8 drive, but it's that beam bar style one that I used when we were doing stuff on those clamps on the 9R exhaust. Problem is, like, it's almost impossible to tell the difference between 50 and 60 foot-pounds or 65 on that. It's just not super accurate unless you're looking right at it, and I didn't think that was going to be good enough. So I'm doing it this way. A smaller torque wrench would be better, but at least this is the most accurate, or more accurate than, a couple Ugga Duggas with an impact, and we're getting them close. And I haven't cracked one yet, so we're going to keep going. We have made it to the last one here. So Brock's getting the last cover put on. We got oil to put in this side. Everything else has got oil in it, and all the bolts are torqued and should be in good shape here. We'll get that one done and get oil back in these, and we'll go around and double check everything, make sure they're all at the right level. And we'll have that part done. We can drive the tractor forward and get our front hubs where we need them so we can drain that oil out. So we got oil in all of them. That back one, though, I don't have quite enough in. I dropped a cap on the very first one, and it's under the track, and I can't get it. So we got to drive ahead so I can get the cap so that we can finish filling that, and I don't lose a bunch of oil. But there's oil in it. It would have been fine to roll it ahead 10 feet without any oil in it, but whatever. It's fine. So, Brock, I'm going to start this tractor up and drive ahead. You tell me when at least one of these hubs has the drain plug down, because we got to change oil in these. So we need this drain plug to be down there. So I think the other one is closer than this one. Oh, I love this tractor. Good. See, right there it is. Okay, let's finish filling that up. Cool. Well, that was a big job, but we got them all done. So, yeah, now we'll do those hubs, and then we'll be done with the service work on the tractor. Well, we got to grease it, but we can finish washing it. Let's see. Right there's the thumbnail. Maybe over just a touch. Something like that. You guys, I always forget to get decent thumbnails, and then I'm searching for screenshots, and I never do a very good job, so. All right, we will pull this drain plug out. They have a real convenient shelf for catching oil on this one for a drain pan. Ah, there's a magnet. It's stuck. Dang it. I don't have any rags on me. It's fine. That oil is very black. I was not expecting that. For gear lube, that's black. There was some metal powder, I'm going to call it, on the magnet there, and some of it on the side here. I already know what John Deere would say if I said anything to them about it, that it's normal, especially on a initial interchange, because the gears are wearing into each other and stuff, so I'm not too concerned about that, but it did catch me off guard how black this oil is. I did not expect it to look like used engine oil. I could take the center plug out, it might drain a little faster, but I got time. We'll just let it sit here for a while. All right, well, while we're waiting for that to drain out a little bit, on the last video, when we were changing all the hydraulic oil and stuff, I had some people ask or tell me that I should be sharing, or I should share how much some of this service work costs. And since this is kind of the first time we've done these major service interval on this tractor, first time we've done the hydraulic oil and the oil in those hubs and all of that kind of stuff, I thought, yeah, let's add it up and figure it out. So now this is our third year. You know, this is the major service interval. It's not the standard where we're just changing filters and engine oil, fuel filters, that kind of stuff. So that normal service every year is going to be a little bit cheaper, but I did go ahead and add everything up. So for the filters on this tractor, and this would include engine oil filter, both fuel filters, both engine air filters, primary and secondary, both cab air filters, fresh air and recirculating air, both hydraulic oil filters, and I don't have it yet, haven't done it yet, but there is a filter on this SCV valve stack right inside this cover right back there that we need to change yet. That one's on there. That's only like a $30 filter, so that's not that big of a deal. But all of those, which is essentially every filter on here except for the exhaust filter and the stuff that, you know, we change once in the lifetime of the tractor kind of thing, not annually or on a regular basis outside of that. So those filters, right now from my John Deere dealer, which it is February filter sale season, so this is 10% off, but $664 is what those filters cost me. Okay, engine oil. This tractor holds 7 gallons of plus 52 engine oil, which we get in bulk. It's what's in that tote right up there. Now, I don't know what the current bulk pricing is. I could go and look and figure out what we paid for that last summer. I don't really know. I looked up what 55-gallon drum of plus 52 would cost if I was to buy that right now from my John Deere dealer. Now, normally 55-gallon drums are a little bit more expensive than true bulk delivered oil. However, they also are at a 10% sale right now, and you don't get that on the bulk oil. You only get it on packaged oil, and so it's probably not that far off. But engine oil is a little over $21 a gallon, which means our 7 gallons cost us about $152. Okay? Hydraulic oil. Now, this is the big one, because not only did we change the whole entire system that we put 60 gallons in, we also changed it in the front differential, the front axle, which we put 9 gallons in, and then we just changed it in all of these clear caps in these that we hubs that we just did, and we didn't use a lot there. Added up to about 2.5 gallons, I think, total. So that hydraulic oil, true bulk price delivered that I got. That I was able to find that one, $18.28 a gallon, which surprised me. That's way more than I would have thought. Apparently I haven't priced High Guard in quite some time. But so you add all of that up, all of those gallons that we put in there, and that is $1,371 worth of hydraulic oil in this tractor. Now, we are currently changing oil in the front hubs. Brock, we forgot this one. There's going to be 2 gallons of 80-90 weight gear lube. Let me figure out what that costs real quick. That gear oil, it's a little pricey. It's a little pricey. $71 for 2 gallons of it. It's like $35.50 per gallon. That's expensive oil.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 2 gallons of that, $70. Again, it's not the end of the world, but for what it is, it seems expensive. Okay, so that brings our total cost for the consumables, the filters and oil on this tractor to $2,258. If you take the hydraulic oil off of that and you drop $1,371 off, and you take the hydraulic filters out that we only change a couple times, or every few years, you can probably drop another $200 in filters. And so all of a sudden, instead of $2,200 now, we'll take $1,500 off of that. It's like a $700 change interval when we do a normal service. That's probably right. Now, the other cost that I had was I had to buy all these clear caps. Obviously, that's a one-time thing on this tractor, but they were about $830. I got them on sale from Shoot right now, and so we put those on here, and that brings our total cost of this maintenance to $3,085. Now, of course, Brock, for some reason, does not come here out of just the pure fun of the job and expects to get paid for doing this work. So we do have that cost, but he is significantly under the $200 an hour that a shop would charge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my rate. That's what I get paid, but we don't pay Brock $200 an hour. No, I'm just kidding. I don't get paid that either, but yeah, so there is labor costs and all of that involved, but this is what we do in the winter. It's just part of the deal. So yeah, $3,085 for the service on an 8RX 370 with hydraulic oil change. So there you go. That's what it costs. Now, I don't think those numbers are outrageous. I mean, kind of part of doing business, right? So even if you figured $800 annual service, and then this one you get a little bit more, so maybe we're averaging $1,000 a year in costs to run this tractor. Now there's some bigger things like tracks and the bogies and things that are going to be big hits once every 5 to 10 years, but I wouldn't really factor that in. So yeah, pretty decent from a normal maintenance. That doesn't include any repairs, but for normal maintenance, I don't think that's out of line. Now, this would probably just sit there and drizzle for most of the night if we let it, but I don't think we need to worry about it that much. So we're going to go ahead and it looks like we're going to go backwards to get that oil level line to level. This line here needs to be over here. And then we stick a hose in there and we start pumping oil into it or fill it up somehow so that it's to the proper level. This tractor, pretty smooth.
Turn it all the way down to like 0.0.
Brock's fixing to spill this all over my hand. It's not real fun. I need a good pump for getting gear lube out of a 5-gallon bucket. I've got a hand one. It leaks like crazy. This is probably better than that, but I don't know that it's better than that. But I need a good powered pump to stick in the top of that bucket and pumps gear lube where I need it. Anybody got any suggestions? We got it. We got it full. Didn't spill too much. And now we need to drain the other side, so we're going to pull ahead until that one is pointed down. Let's see what this oil looks like. It's magnetic, so pull it away from it. Don't slide it. There you go. He's better at that than I am. I guess you're going to have to do all these from now on. All right, well, that's going to take a little bit too. Okay, the hub oils are changed. So, I think we're in good shape here. You know what I would like to do, Brock? I would like to take it out and drive it around the shop or something a little bit, make sure we've got oil into all of those bearings and everything good, and then get the hydraulic oil circulating and be actually pumping through as we're turning and stuff like that to be able to check that level. Earlier it was down a little bit, it was right at the red mark on the top of the high, but now it's back up, so I don't really know. We might have a touch too much hydraulic oil in there, but I would really like to drive it some before we make that decision. So we might just do that once Dad moves the backhoe over here and just drive it around the block, and then it needs to come back in because we need to finish washing and cleaning, and then we'll be ready to hook up a planter and bring that in the shop here. Let's go for a drive, shall we? Oh yeah, I want to find a better way to mount this. Oh, we've got this in the shop here. Look at those nice clear caps down there. Check the oil level right from the cab. Do some donuts on the tracks out here in the parking lot, on the driveway. Phil's moving some grain. He was pulling out the side draw. He must be loading the overhead now. Generator's running. Alright. Seems okay. Okay, well, we drove around, did a couple donuts, turned the PTO on and off, turned tracks all the way, both directions. We'll let everything settle and we'll check our hub oils, make sure those are all still good, and then check the hydraulic oil, we'll see where that's at, and we're ready to finish washing here. Alright guys, I'm heading home. Pretty good day. Got a lot done on the tractor there. That was a big project, changing all those caps. I mean, none of them were hard. They just took a while to let the oil drain out of them and clean everything up, and there's a lot of them, so it took a while. But anyway, thanks for watching this one. Have a great night. If you want to leave a question or a comment down below, feel free. Hit the like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And we will see you again tomorrow, and then we will see you in Louisville. Last time Brock and I went to Louisville, we did a live stream on the way down and the way back. Probably not going to do that this time, but we will probably do one or the other. I'm thinking on the way home we'll probably try and do a live stream. So Thursday, late afternoon, early evening is kind of what I'm thinking. Depends on what time we leave the show. And gotta do it while there's still some daylight. So anyway, that's the plan. Have a great night. We will see you back in the shop tomorrow. Finish up on this 8RX, hopefully.